Okay, let's give this one a try. This is a sample of one of the no calculator problems. There's 5 at the beginning that you cannot use a calculator with. All right, Sarah loaned her brother $400 for 6 months with a simple interest annual rate of 5%. How much will he owe her at the end of 6 months? They do give you a sheet that has your formulas on it, and there's one for simple interest, and it's going to tell you that interest is equal to PRT. All right, P is your principal. That's the money, the amount of money borrowed or loaned. So in our problem, that's $400. Next is your rate. Now our rate is 5%, but before you can use a rate, you have to change it to a decimal. You can't use it as a percent. So how do you do that? Well, you move the decimal 2 places to the left. So where is the decimal right now? Right now it's here. When I move 2 places to the left, I'm going to have to add a 0 in there. So my rate is 0.05. Okay, now for time. The time in the formula represents years. So how many years is he going to borrow the money for? Well, 1/2 of a year. Okay, so that's going to be our time. Now we're just going to multiply all these together. Now when you have 3 numbers multiplied together, especially since we can't use a calculator, let's be smart. You can multiply the numbers in any order you want to. So first of all, if I multiply 400 times 1/2, what's 1/2 of 400? 200. So now all I have to do is multiply the 200 times 0.05. And here's a little review of multiplying with decimals. You line up your last number. Then we're going to multiply 5 times each one of these. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 2 is 10. Now normally you would come back and whatever this number is, you would multiply it times all 3 of these, but it's a 0. So we're just going to have zeros all the way across. So our last step is to count the numbers that are behind the decimal, and we want to move this decimal, which is now at the end, over that many places. So there are 2 numbers behind the decimal. I'm going to move over 2. So that gives me $10. That's how much interest he's going to owe her. So if you take the $10 and add it back to the 400, you get $410. And that was probably a very long-winded explanation, but I covered bases that work for every problem, not just for this problem. So you should be good to go.